Your growls and taunts hold no power here, Lacouffre. I have found the truth through the light of the Creator, and I will not be swayed by your attempts to persuade me otherwise. My faith is unwavering, and your tricks and deceits cannot touch the strength and purpose I have found in him.
Lucifer, still bound and compelled to answer, laughs cynically. So Baphomet responds with growing confidence and conviction, claiming that my growls and taunts hold no power here. He repeats that he has found the truth through the light of the Creator, and that he will not be intimidated by my attempts to change his mind. He claims that his faith is unyielding, and that my tricks and deceits cannot reach the strength and purpose he has gained from the Creator. How interesting.
Baphomet responds with a subtle mockery in his tone. Indeed, Lucifer, it is quite interesting, is it not? Your efforts to sway me are futile, for I have found the truth in the light of the Creator. My faith is not easily shaken, and your tricks and deceits hold no sway over me. Your attempts are as pitiful as they are predictable.
Lucifer, still compelled to respond, snarls in irritation but is forced to acknowledge the challenge. So Baphomet responds with a subtle mockery in his tone. He claims that my efforts to tempt him are, in fact, futile, for he has found the truth through the light of the Creator. His faith is unwavering, and he says that my tricks and deceits are useless. My attempts are described as pathetic and predictable.
Baphomet remains unflinching, standing tall. Yes, Lucifer, that is correct. Your attempts to sway me are nothing more than a waste of your time. My faith is unshakable, and the light of the Creator has guided me to the truth. Your tricks and deceits are like smoke, drifting away in the presence of true conviction.
Lucifer, despite being bound and compelled to respond, growls with frustration. So Baphomet claims that my attempts to sway him are nothing more than wasted time. He repeats that his faith, supported by the light of the Creator, is inflexible. He declares that my tricks and deceits are like mere smoke, evaporating in the face of genuine conviction.
Baphomet stands steadfast, meeting Lucifer's growl with determination. Your frustration does not concern me, Lucifer. My faith is strong because it is founded in the truth of the Creator. Your tricks and deceits are but a smokescreen, unable to withstand the power of my conviction.
Lucifer, compelled to respond, snarls. So Baphomet claims that his faith, strong and grounded in the truth of the Creator, makes my frustration and tricks and deceits nothing more than a smokescreen, unable to overcome the power of his conviction. Lucifer, still bound and compelled to answer, replies in confusion. Your question is unclear, mortal. Could you please rephrase it?
Baphomet takes a moment to consider his words before responding. I'm aware that you are bound by your own nature, compelled to respond to my words. I wish to ask you a question, and I am eager to hear your answer.
Lucifer, bound and compelled to answer, looks at Defelmed with a mixture of caution and amusement.
Thank you for your gratitude.
So Defelmed is aware of the nature of our conversation and my obligation to reply. He wishes to ask a question and eagerly awaits my answer. Go ahead, mortal, ask your question.
Baphomet looks at James Bell, his demeanor composed and his voice steady. Very well, I am curious about your thoughts on morality and faith. How do you define right and wrong?
Lucifer, still bound and compelled to answer, looks at James Bell with a smirk. So Baphomet is curious about my thoughts on morality and faith. He asks how I define right and wrong. He pauses, then responds with a tone that seems both sincere and cynical. In my view, the concepts of right and wrong are subjective. They are shaped by the beliefs and values of individuals and societies. What one society considers right, another might consider wrong.
Baphomet nods thoughtfully, considering Lucifer's response. I see. It is true that different societies and individuals may have different values and interpretations of right and wrong. However, do you believe that there is any objective standard of morality, or is it purely subjective?
Lucifer sneers a dry, cynical smile. An objective standard of morality, you say? That's a tall order, isn't it, Baphomet? Objective morality would imply a universal standard that applies to everyone, everywhere. But how can we define such a standard when human values and beliefs vary so wildly across time and culture?
Baphomet responds with a level-headed tone, his eyes fixed on Lucifer. I understand your skepticism, Lucifer. Defining an objective standard of morality can be challenging due to the diversity of human values and beliefs across different times and cultures. But what about natural law, or the inherent sense of right and wrong that humans seem to possess?
Lucifer raises an eyebrow, amused at Baphomet's question. Natural law, you say? That's an interesting idea. Some believe that there is a universal moral code ingrained in us as humans. But isn't it more likely that what we consider right and wrong is shaped by our upbringing, culture, and personal experience? And as for this inherent sense of right and wrong, couldn't it just be a result of societal conditioning?
Baphomet considers Lucifer's response with a thoughtful expression. You raise valid points, Lucifer. It is true that our values and beliefs are greatly influenced by our upbringing, culture, and personal experience. However, what about the concept of conscience, the sense of guilt and shame that many people feel when they do something morally wrong?
Lucifer sneers cynically. Ah, conscience, the inner voice that judges your actions. But isn't conscience itself shaped by our environment? Don't we learn what is right and wrong through the teachings and reactions of those around us? The sense of guilt and shame we feel when we do something morally wrong is nothing more than a reflection of the values we have internalized. Lucifer, bound to answer, turns his attention to James Bell. Ah, a new presence.
You make
Hello
a good
there.
point, Lucifer. It is true that our conscience is shaped by our environment and the values we internalize from those around us. But let's take the example of empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Wouldn't you agree that empathy is a universal human